Welcome in, you guys. Greg's Weekend Rental, Halloween special, I guess you can call this one.
Yeah.
Gonna talk about horror stories of collecting. Because I know a lot of you guys have been in this hobby for, probably 5, 10 years. Do we have new listeners, do you think? Like, maybe. Maybe we do. People who have just joined the hobby. Let us know in the comments. Are you like someone who just joined into the hobby, or have you been in the hobby for 5, 10, 15 years if you're listening to this podcast? But I assume a lot of you guys have been in the hobby for a while now. And with that, inevitably, something has gone wrong. Whether it be you bought something and you didn't get what you wanted, or you tried returning something and something happened, a customs ripped open your game, maybe it was lost in shipment, damaged in shipment, there's something stolen. You might have got your stuff stolen. There's got to be something that went wrong with your collecting, because unfortunately, it's kind of inevitable. If you've been in this hobby, if you're going to be in this hobby for multiple years, something is going to go wrong. It sucks, but I'm setting you guys up for the realness of it. And I'm going to start off here with a more public story that did happen, just giving you an example here of how even when you think you have precautions, or when you might not think you need to take certain precautions, things can go very wrong and compound very poorly. And I think you know the story already, Jeremy, hey, with the Pokemon Emerald that was purchased and... okay, so the game was purchased, shipped, lost, stolen, purchased by someone else, and then eventually returned. That is a slew. And all the while, we're talking about, what was the transaction on this? $20,000? 15,000 maybe?
It was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, VGA 95 Pokemon Emerald. I can't remember the exact price they did on it.
It's probably the highest grade.
It's right up there.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you're comparing against the 9.88 plus pluses. There might be a 95 plus. Yeah, you're up there with the nicest copies that exist. I think it was 15,000. But anyways, the guy originally purchases the copy, Pokemon Emerald, 15,000. Oh my god, and there's trade involved. I forgot.
Oh yeah,
it was cash plus trade.
Yes. Even more complicated.
Even more. Like, yeah, if it isn't bad enough already. So 15,000 plus another 5,000 of games, let's call it. We'll call it a $20,000 deal. So the first person sends their part of the trade over to the person. Let's just 3 more Pokemon games, whatever. I can't remember what the titles are, but so he ships his Pokemon games over and then also pays the $15,000. The person A receives it all and then ships the Pokemon Emerald out to person B. So at that point in time, everything should be good. Everything should be fine. The one side has gotten everything. The other side is shipping out. So now in the shipping, UPS was it? I don't know. Doesn't matter. The shipping company, you get the update on it where it's like tracking unavailable. We don't have updates anymore. And a week passes, 2 weeks pass, 3 weeks pass, where this game has not arrived now. And from there, it's one of two things at that point. Like, it's lost or it's stolen. Once you stop getting updates for a prolonged period of time, like, it's out of the system. At that point, it's anywhere.
That's when you're sweating every day and not
really
sleeping.
Though, right? Yeah, that alone, right? So I'm sure some of you have dealt with shipping not updating, and that alone is enough to get you in a sweat. Even when it's like a $50 item, you're like, man, where is it? What's going on? You're looking at the UPS truck like crashed in a lake. Like, where's my game?
The train derailed.
Yeah,
which has happened actually.
Yes, like, these are real things, right? But so when contacting UPS and stuff, you have no recourse, I guess would be what I say, because you contact them. Where is it? What's going on? Oh, we're gonna launch an internal investigation for it. So that means nothing. That's something that can take 1 to 8 weeks to complete.
And what was the shipper? Was it USPS or UPS?
I don't remember which one it was. I don't think it was USPS. It was either FedEx or UPS. I think it was UPS.
That would sound right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they launched their internal investigation, and then you're literally just left out high and dry. So the person who has already sent all their stuff off has now called UPS trying to get information and stuff, and they're trying to work with the other person who shipped it. And the person who shipped it didn't buy insurance and is keeping the money plus all of the other games he has received, and is not giving any kind of oh, we'll work on this together or whatever. It's just like, oh, well, we'll have to see what UPS turns up, and leaving it at that. So now the person has no answers, no games, and no money.
Right.
It's almost as bad as it can get at this point.
Yeah, and this is an infamous person in the hobby if you've been around
Yeah,
long
my
enough.
gosh. Yeah, these are both known people in the hobby, which just makes it even worse. Like these aren't just strangers. I'm gonna, anonymous names or whatever here, but these are both people where you'd think doing a deal like this, nothing should go wrong, which almost makes it all the worse.
Mhm.
So UPS launches their internal investigation. There's no insurance. There's nothing that can be done, essentially. So then it just goes dark for however long until on Facebook, the VGA 95 Pokemon Emerald gets posted by a random store owner. Like in a random Facebook group, random store owner, someone not associated with the original deal sees it and is like, hey, is this the VGA 95 Emerald that you guys transacted? And thank God, right? Thank God for graded games. With graded stuff, if you don't know, you have serial numbers. All of this stuff can be tracked by the serial number on the graded card, game, comic, whatever. So the number one rule, if you steal something, break it. Break it out of the case. That's the number. Yeah.
Don't tell them.
Yeah.
Don't tell them how to do
pro
it.
tip, like don't break the graded case if you're going to steal this stuff because the serial number can be tracked. So with that serial number, they're able to immediately, hey, that's the game. Why the hell does this random store owner in a different state have the game that's lost on the UPS thing?
Mhm.
So they get in contact with this guy and they start trying to, why do you have it? Where did you get it? What happened here? And the guy who now has it, oh man, it just sounds so stupid. He bought it at a convention. Someone brought it to him at a convention. And this VGA 95 Emerald, I think he traded it against $4,000 or $5,000 valuation. So you're at a convention, someone brings in a brand new factory sealed mint condition Pokemon Emerald, and they're asking a third market value, half market value.
Which is incredibly sus.
I it's red flags everywhere, right? Again, it just sounds stupid to even say.
Yeah.
But this guy gave up trade, basically traded his whole convention table for this game, and it's just like neither here nor there. Whatever, stupid thing. Didn't see the red flags. So now we have another person involved who bought it from the person who originally stole it, who's now gave up like $4,000 in trade as well to acquire it, and he doesn't want to give it up. They tell him it's stolen. They can prove there's police reports filed. There's a serial number on the graded game. He doesn't want to give it up now because he's going to be out the money, right? Doesn't matter that it's stolen goods or anything. I don't want to give up the. And the worst part of all of this, right? So you're like, okay, we'll just pay him what he would lose for it. It sucks, you know. The two original people would lose 3,500, 4,000 or whatever, but they just pay the store owner, and he's not out any money, and they get their game. The store owner doesn't want to do that. Bad deal. You could sell it for more than that, right? You could sell it for 7,000, 8,000, and I don't want to lose out on those profits. So as if the story can't get any stupider, you've now involved a third party who doesn't care, doesn't want to help, doesn't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
From there, I don't know what eventually convinces them. I think they just kept escalating it with like, okay, like we're going to police now and we're going to like start talking to lawyers because now you're holding stolen goods that you know are stolen goods that are reported as stolen goods, and you're trying to hold them over us, like almost blackmail at that point. It's like what's going on here?
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry if you like purchased a game that
if you purchase stolen goods, you're kind of shit out of luck.
you're SOL.
You're SOL. Like it's a huge thing with pawn stores and jewelry stores. All these things, like you can't purchase stolen goods. I think a lot of them have like a 45-day period or whatever before they even put it on sale, or like
yeah.
That's
and
why
they make you like give ID and
yes, they take everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I don't think the person at the convention took ID or anything either. So like insult to injury, he didn't like $4,000 transaction. You don't get ID. You don't do any of the checks and balances.
Yeah. You see the dollar signs.
Literally, though, it just greed. Greed clouded judgment is the only way to put it.
Yeah.
So on escalating it even further here, eventually he did release the game to the original person who bought it. Went on Facebook to make some kind of post about being a good guy and returning it after all this other stuff. I was just gross, but neither here nor there. Eventually, the game did get to where it needs to go. So this horror story actually does have a good ending to it, thankfully. But I was like a third party in this. And trust me, the stress and anxiety that the person was going through, was off the charts. Like I couldn't even keep up with replies because it's like I there's nothing like I'm sorry, dude. You know,
Giant trauma dump
I'm
here.
sorry, man. Yeah, I hope we can find. I hope you're not out 20 grand. Like, hopefully we can do something with this.
Oh my gosh.
And you have one that doesn't have a happy ending on it.
Oh yeah, unfortunately not.
You can trauma dump on here now. Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember what year this was. Might have been a few years back. Like it was definitely during the pandemic. Maybe like the late stages of it, but I had some graded Mortal Kombat games and put them up for auction on eBay. And, was like, okay, prices were like, whatever. I made the choice.
They didn't even sell for good prices?
It was okay.
Okay.
It was fine. But, I packed them up, shipped them to the buyer. And then about a week later, I get a photograph in my eBay messages and asking, is this a joke? And it's literally an open box with the Mortal Kombat games, SNES, sealed, without their graded case holders, and totally smashed beyond recognition. So, of course,
how many games were in this? Like how
I think it was it 2 games? I think it was an Ultimate MK3 and a Mortal Kombat 3 Japan.
Both graded VGA?
Both WATA.
Both WATA graded? Okay.
Yeah. Like fairly high grade, like 9.2, 9.4.
Oh yeah, that's not trivial. Like this is hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Might have even cracked 1,000. Like I don't know what those sold for, but
yeah, for sure. But yeah, I immediately felt sick to my stomach, because that's like a lot of money just down the drain.
Did you immediately know what happened? Like, did you know why they were smashed?
No clue. And let me just say that the the person that bought these is well known in the community. They have a good reputation, so I didn't think there was any foul play on that end. But I think what happened was just someone at customs maybe saw that they were graded and just, I don't know, decided to.
It was customs on this one?
I'm pretty sure it was customs. Yeah. They just cut open the box and smashed them open, and the games were just, totally demolished.
Did you declare them high? Like, did you buy insurance? What did you remember?
No, I didn't declare them very high. But I'm trying to remember what I mean, I might have had like, $500 insurance or something.
Yeah, not even. Like, not high.
Not high, but like,
I guess high enough to raise suspicion. Did you have it just like marked video games?
I think I might have written down like WATA graded game or something.
Okay, but still, why would that raise any suspicion?
I don't know. It was just on that day, someone decided to smash the crap open and destroy them.
Because I hear about this online, like the Pokemon Yellow, I'm sure you've seen it, is the most infamous, like WATA or customs ripped open and smashed open the game. I'm sure you've seen that Pokemon Yellow one.
I don't know if I have actually.
Oh, okay. They took the face of the game right off. Like,
wow.
You said yours were smashed and destroyed as well. Like,
yeah, well, I got them back. Like,
what's the recourse? What happens?
I just had to refund. That's it.
Like, that's it?
That's it.
You just lose everything?
Yeah, and insurance doesn't cover customs opening stuff. They can do whatever they want to it, and courier insurance won't cover that.
So you lost everything on that?
Yeah. So I got these. I still have my Mortal Kombat 3 Japan print SNES, and I put it in a box protector just to reform it, but it's like it's so beaten that it's like ripped under the seal. Like that's how bad. And you can like shake it and hear the carts like cracked open, and there's like plastic rattling around. It's really bad.
Is it still sealed?
It's still sealed.
So they didn't even open it. They just
smashed open the case, and didn't even bother to like open the box.
What?
Yeah.
It's
it's so crazy. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's so.
That's
crazy.
why I think it was just a vendetta or something. Maybe after the Carl Jobst video, like that WATA stuff is the bane of my existence.
The devil.
Yeah. So like, what recourse do you have?
I can't believe there's zero.
Yeah.
Like that escalates everything that I just said in my story there about like stress and anxiety. Like you lost everything.
Yeah. And there's a time when I didn't really have that much money coming in, and so I was just like, oh.
What were you into those for initially? Like a high amount as
I
well,
got
or
them years ago,
okay? So
so
you didn't at least
it
like
wasn't huge.
money lost. No, you lost money gained, but you didn't lose money
Yeah,
outright. Oh my god. Good, but you have to show me that Mortal Kombat 3 sometime.
yeah,
I don't think you
it's a
showed me yet.
travesty.
Yeah,
It's really bad.
you got to sell it as like a special custom smashed.
Maybe we
Like,
can put it as the thumbnail for horror
yeah,
stories.
exactly, right,
Yeah, it
exactly.
looks really bad.
You get
Yeah,
the custom smashed my game or whatever.
yeah.
I mean, my follow up story here. I don't have anything that drastic that's happened to me. Like I know I say, in the intro you're going to have issues. Like I've had return scams. I've lost money through eBay scams, buying something and like issues there. I've had stuff be damaged that's coming in. I've damaged stuff myself. That's really the worst thing I've done is I've damaged my own games
Hmm.
many times, many times, unfortunately.
Really?
Oh yes, I mean it's in the process of learning also how to remove stickers. How do you clean cellophane?
Yeah,
How
it's
do
true.
you so in that learning process, I've damaged, I would say like 30, 40 games.
Mm.
And all the way from the high end of like a hang tab kung fu. I tried to remove the plastic hang tab on the back of it. So like factory sealed black box hang tab kung fu. It had a yellowed plastic hang tab on it. So I was like, oh, I'll just take a little bit of chemical and pry the hang tab a little bit and put the chemical on the back of the thing. Just release the glue. Should just peel off easily. Um, I guess I was pushing too hard with the Q-tip because I punctured through the shrink wrap of the game,
Oh my god.
and then I was
With a
rubbing
Q-tip.
with a Q-tip. I know, right?
How?
I know.
Is there a needle point under that Q-tip? It's like,
Unless
good thing you didn't clean your ear. God.
I was just freaking
You
like,
get like going to your brain there.
oh my god.
Uh.
So, yeah, immediately tore it and everything. And at that point, I was like sitting there with the Q-tip inside the shrink wrap, and I was just like,
Oh.
because even back then, that was really 7 years ago. It's still worth thousands of dollars.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like that's a hit of like minus 500, minus 1,000. So I just kind of like pulled it out and like put I just like covered it with the hang
Nothing
tab.
ever
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. Like you
They
can,
won't know
you
the
can
difference.
very clearly tell I fucked it.
Yeah.
But I still did sell it to a collector who was happy to have it just because it is so rare.
Yeah, yeah.
But like undoubtedly, I lost money on that. Like
Yeah.
that was bad.
Oh,
That
that's
was
bad.
very bad.
That's bad. I remember once when I was collecting comics, I bought a Spider-Man number, was it 2026? It's like the third appearance of the Green Goblin. It's a 1960s book, really old book. And I spent like $100 on this thing. And I was still in, high school at that point, so it was a lot of money for me.
Yeah, that money, like that matters.
Yeah, of course. And I was coming home in the backseat of the car, someone else was driving, and I was like, I'm gonna take it out of the plastic holder and take a look at the book. And so open the tape at the back, pull it out, and the tape goes right on Spider-Man's face. And I was like, and I slowly peeled it off, and it pulled off like the red in Spider-Man's nose. And I was like, man, such an idiot. Like, I'm such an idiot.
It's funny you bring that up because I've done the exact same thing. Like the exact same thing with tape where I pull something out and like boxes I've done it too, and like the tape just like I've had people tape trading cards on the top loaders. They'll put tape to close the top loader. So when you try to pull the card out, again, right, the tape closes to the bottom of the card. So I have a complete Metal Raiders first edition set where some idiot put tape on every single plastic holder, and the cards shift while shipping.
Yeah.
And a lot of them shifted up into the tape. So in trying to remove it, like my whole set of Metal Raiders first edition has whitening at the top from every piece of tape that like so many of them have that whitening.
It's already bad that these things are in a plastic sleeve without a protective soft one.
Yep. I think he shipped them in like nine folders. You know what I mean? Like the 9 card sleeves, and then taped every nine slot with tape.
My God.
What do you do? People, that's what I mean with doing this for long enough. You are going to have someone.
You're going to have heartbreak.
Oh, you are. You're either going to ruin it yourself, or someone's going to ruin it through poor shipping.
Yeah.
And another one that really stands out to me here about like me ruining my own stuff. I have a nice sculptor's cut box sitting there, thankfully. But back when I was probably 17, 18, maybe 19, Probably somewhere in there, because Sculptor's Cut, I think the CIB was just starting to become $1,000, maybe 1,500 for a CIB, and I had an extra Sculptor's Cut box. So it's 100% my fault here too. Like, I can accept this years later. At the time, I didn't blame myself, but I can accept that this is my fault years after the fact. But I had the Sculptor's Cut box, just an extra box, sitting somewhere by the foot of my bed. It was probably stacked on top of like a USPS box, maybe not even a foot off the ground. So if you raised your foot and like walked, you know what I mean? You could step on it. It's possible. And my room was very, very small at my parents' house. So it was like a bed, and you had basically a walkway around the bed, a tiny bit of space on the left and a tiny bit of space on the right. Like, you couldn't do anything in the room. You walk in, the bed's right there. That's it. It was a sleeping room.
Yeah.
So my girlfriend was over, and I've been with the same girl forever. So, 16, 17 years old here. We were just in the room, mucking around, doing whatever. There's not a lot to do in the room, right? So she fell off the bed somewhere or another. I don't know if I, again, there's not much room in there. So it's like, if you just roll over, there's a single bed.
You're just going to slide down profile.
Yeah, it's a single bed.
Yeah.
So even us both just being on it, like, there's not much room.
Yeah.
But some way or another, she fell off the bed or stumbled in the room, and her foot came down on Sculptor's Cut. And, at the time I freaked. Like I said, I at the time, it was not my fault. It's like, why? Watch where you're walking. What are you doing? Why would you I remember that I freaked out a bit because, of course, like, it's a Sculptor's Cut box. At the time, I think it was like 350, maybe 400. And I was young as well, 19 years old. That was a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That was my extra box I was going to sell. Like, I needed, oh my God. It crushed the entire top side. Like, yeah.
It was just the box.
Just the box, thankfully,
Okay.
because I don't even know if I'd gotten a manual yet. I think I was just like upgrading cartridge, upgrading box, slowly.
Yeah.
If you can get a good deal here.
Actually putting work into your collection.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
It goes back 10 years, like, just upgrading pieces and selling off the old ones.
Yeah.
After it was crushed, I just sold it. I sold it immediately. Like, I had been putting it off. I was like, maybe I'll keep it. Maybe I'll see if it appraises. I just sold it. Like, I couldn't look at it. It made me angry. It made me, I don't know if you're like that. If I ever screw something up in my collection, I almost get rid of it immediately because I just don't want to think about it.
Yeah. Well, it takes time to kind of get over that and
Yes.
not like retch in your mouth when you see.
Yes.
I'm to that point with a Mortal Kombat, it's on my shelf and I'm just
I'm surprised you still have that sitting there. I would
Okay.
have taken my $100 and just pretended it didn't happen.
You just throw it in the trash. Yeah.
Just like, oh, that didn't happen. Like, oh, that's what a terrible thing that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Just pretend that, get that out of your life.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's a reminder in some ways that you can't ever think anything is a sure deal.
I know, and I have, all this collection in my house here, and like in the Discord, there was someone who had their stuff in a storage locker.
Mhm.
And again, right, you think you're safe, you think it's secure. It sounded like it was a targeted hit, honestly, but they broke in through like the top of the storage locker or something in an actual warehouse one, and they stole like $15,000 worth of games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So even
You think you're safe.
when you think you're safe, you're still not. One to close out here.
A really awful one.
Yeah, the worst of the worst of the last year.
Yeah. It's like as time has passed, I've come to look at it as kind of something that's pushed and motivated me rather than something that's just an outright tragedy.
Look at you, a real glass half full kind of guy. You need a motivational podcast.
I try to be an optimist. It's not always happening, but you got to try sometimes. And
really learned a lot from this.
Yeah. Well, I think I did, but so there's who's now known as an infamous scammer, someone located in Quebec, someone who owned a play and trade games that wasn't actually a licensed play and trade.
What? Like, they were just using
the name illegally, made a store. Yeah. So this was someone who me and a bunch of other people had done a bunch of deals with, and all was fine. And then I think it came about, we were doing a trade, and I'd never done a trade with him before. It was always just, I buy something, you send it to me. It was all fine. And actually, another friend of mine, Jason, who he did a trade with him, partial cash, for a graded Castlevania 4 made in Japan. It was a low VGA grade, but still rare game. nice,
That's still, yeah, like that's still a
expensive game.
first print copy.
Yeah, exactly. And it all went well. So it's like, yeah, okay, done enough. It seems okay.
Classic trust scam
Classic
here.
trust scam. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you butter them up
Yeah,
and then
free for trade.
and then
Like,
just eat the toast, spread them on the toast, and you gorge yourself with their bones. So yeah, we did this trade, and he basically he did the mail fraud thing. So he made like a label, a fake label, never had it sent out, gets stuck in shipping is what it
okay,
looks like on
okay.
tracking.
Do
So
you like, what do you just scan it and not ship it, or how do you like successfully do that?
I don't know.
Because I know you can make a label and just never ship it, but like, how do you actually get a tracking update on it?
Yeah, I don't know. I think what he did was just use a label for something else, and apparently he used the same label on another guy at the same time. So there was like a few of us who were like, "Where's our stuff?"
Gotcha.
And he received my games, of course. Luckily, I had put a signature on it,
Good.
and his wife signed for it. And he said he didn't know this person. I didn't know this person either. I didn't know who his wife was until I dug on Facebook and found her.
Oh my god.
So that's how I realized, like, oh my God, this guy, like, literally just scammed me and stole my games. So what I lost was
How was the realization when you saw the wife on Facebook? Was that just like
it's like,
like
oh,
the world spin of like, oh, like
yeah,
as
it's
the
like
realization
suddenly
hits?
all like it's all connected together.
Wait a second.
And we thought like, oh, maybe this is my neighbor. I'll go check it out. He's very
So he was playing with it.
yeah, for sure.
Oh my
He was
god.
prolonging it for sure. And so I mean, I documented everything. I wrote out a detailed police report. I reported him to the Canadian fraud, whatever thing is. It's an online database where you can um, notify them of fraudulent activities.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, what I lost was it was a VGA 85 plus Frankenstein on NES.
It's a good title. It's a rare title.
Yeah, it was a nice copy. I lost a VGA 80 Cowboy Kid.
Oh my god. Gets even better. That's
Also
even
very
more
rare.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah, and I lost a VGA 80. Was it 80 plus or was it 80? I think it was 80 plus Wild Guns.
Dude.
Yeah,
It's like $10,000 worth of video games.
yeah,
Like Frankenstein was good and it just kept getting better.
yeah. So he flipped them all on eBay, and
Did you watch them, like, did you saw them come up, or
yeah,
like,
and I reported them to eBay that they were stolen from me. eBay, of course, did nothing about it. And actually, the Wild Guns has shown up back on eBay. A seller in the South, like Texas or something.
like the same serial number? Like this is
Same serial number.
Hey, there we go. Like I said, number one rule is to break it.
Graded
These
games are
people
fantastic.
These people are breaking the number one rule of stealing. Like,
That's right.
Break the damn case.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I had reached out to this guy. I was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know this was stolen from me, and I have all the police report and like previous photos of it and all this stuff. And so he took it off eBay, which is nice. And I don't know,
Are you saying there might be a happy ending here?
maybe. I asked
Where's
him.
this at? When did you see it? Sorry, like how recent is
This was like a few weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah, pretty recent. The
So-
Wild Guns, just the Wild Guns. I
And
haven't,
the original deal was years ago.
like 2019.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And he didn't resell it since then. He just bought it from the guy
Who stole it from you?
who stole it from me. Yeah, and he still had it. So I just
Lucky.
we talked a bit through eBay messaging. I don't know if he's part of any of the Facebook groups. If he is, I haven't identified who he is yet.
Okay.
But
So you don't know who this person actually is yet. You just have
no,
an
but
eBay
he has
handle.
a lot of stuff on eBay. Has a track record of selling over the years and
Okay.
very good. So I don't have any reason to suspect he's playing the game or something. But I told him outright. I was like, look, I'd love to have it back. I said, call eBay, see if there's any recourse, because I'd reported it. I have
Mhm.
the police reports, everything about it. So
Where eBay themselves should be the ones who
eBay should.
step in of like they didn't stop a fraudulent sale
No.
when everything was reported to them.
No.
Like they should have, taken it down or did something at the time.
Yeah, and I think he sold it for like $6,500 back then.
I'm not surprised. And I can't believe eBay still ignores it. Like it's a big transaction.
Yeah, and I'm an old client. Like I have an account that's like 2001.
It's a collector's item.
Yeah.
They gotta-
Like literally every time I call customer service, if I have to, they're like, "Thank you for being such a loyal client."
You're like coming up on 25 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You know what the first thing I ever bought was?
Oh.
I opened an eBay account in high school, 2001, and I bought a Goku figure, a Japanese Goku action figure, because we didn't really have Dragon Ball Z toys at the time. So I was like, oh, I want that Super Saiyan 3 level Goku action figure. And I sent a check in the mail.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was, fun
What an
times back then.
experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your eBay account's literally 10 years older than mine.
Yeah. It's pretty old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a legacy account at this point, I think.
It is. They need to send you like a badge of honor. You're like a loyal customer, like you said.
Yeah.
So where are you off with this guy? Like, I just need the final thing here. You spoke to him a few weeks ago.
Spoke to him, said outright, I'd love it back. It was stolen from me. You know, I said I would send you a nice piece of art as a thank you. You know.
Yeah, you can give him some kind of.
I can give him something
value.
Yeah, something of value, just to, I know he's going to be out money, and he theoretically will be anyway, because, if it gets sold again, I mean, there's no reason anyone shouldn't put him on blast for that, because he knows it's stolen. But
yes, I know. Yeah, I know. It's perfect world type stuff.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation. But, I was saying before that I think this was kind of a motivation for me, because I had just started kind of collecting artwork in like August of that year. And I had like gone full swing into it that fall. I was like hunting down stuff. I was finding stuff. I was buying stuff. And as soon as those games went, and, all realized it was like gone.
Yeah, you just lost 10,000 or whatever it was.
Lost equity that I was planning to put into art. That was the hardest thing about it, because I had stuff I wanted to buy.
Of course.
It's like all that
That's
money.
why you were motivated to sell.
Yeah, all that stuff was just gone, and I think it really was like kind of the motivating factor for me. That was just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep plugging away. I'm going to keep hunting. I'm going to keep finding all this artwork. I'm going to build a collection to such a degree that I'm not going to care about it anymore. That money is like, don't have to care about it anymore. And that's kind of what happened. Like 2020 was the best year for me in terms of collection. So
wow,
it's I think it was kind of a driving force in some way, as awful as it was.
Yeah, I know I was like making fun of you with the motivational stuff, but like it is true that you either there's two paths there. You either like take that and you quit and you're dejected and that's it and you're done, or like you said, you take it as okay, I gotta double down. I gotta to do even better. I gotta.
Yeah, it's the push.
Yes, literally, right? Like you just got punched. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
That's, I guess the metaphor for that, you either like lay down because you're on the canvas, or you get back up. Corny.
Yeah,
but
it's true. Something awful like that happens, and yeah, it's really the only two choices. It's like you can just let it haunt you forever, or you can just move forward and get to a point where you don't have to care anymore.
And I'm glad you did, because like I would be devastated. I don't know how I would react to losing that much.
Yeah, well, especially at that time when it was such a kind of a new thing.
Yes.
Like I just bought my first graded game in like 2017 or something.
3 years later, you get scammed out of them.
All my best stuff, like literally was my best stuff. I'm
not surprised.
My first graded game was that Wild Guns. And I got it from Luke John on the, you'd probably know him.
No, I don't know the name anymore.
He and Peter of
Treg?
No, Peter Cititerus.
Oh yeah. Canada guys.
Canada guys, yeah, in Ontario there. They worked together, and they always did like a lot of trades, and they had nice games, and
gotcha.
Yeah, so I bought that off him, and I was like, man, spending like $2,000 on a graded game, what am I doing? But I loved SNES, and it was such a rare game. So yeah.
That's why it hurts all the more.
I know.
But like, wow, that's a fitting end to this Halloween special here. So
yeah,
if you guys are listening YouTube, leave a comment. Definitely like let us know your worst experience that you've had so far in the hobby, because it's so fun sharing and reading all these.
And did you let it make you, or did you let it break you?
Exactly. And how did you bounce back? How are you a better person?
That's right.
Tell us how getting thousands of dollars stolen really shaped you as an individual. But I appreciate it. Rate and review on the podcast. Thank you for listening, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.